How's it going, guys? Today I just wanted to show you another one of my rifles. The quest for the perfect rifle continues. I hunted all last season with a Seiko Finlight in 30-06, and I think it's arguably the most practical rifle someone could have, with being stainless and so lightweight and just being such a beautifully made tool. But anyways, as I said earlier, the quest for the perfect rifle continues. One of the issues I have with the new synthetic stainless guns, although they do make a lot of practical sense, there's just something about them that they don't have the same feel. They don't have like a soul, if that makes any sense to you guys. There's just something about a walnut and blued gun that, I don't know, it just feels right and it just seems right. It just seems like it's the way it's supposed to be. So a little bit less than a year ago, I thought to myself, I'm gonna get kind of a classic style rifle, something you'd see your grandpa have, something that had a lot of quality that you could hand down to someone, you know, like maybe like a generational heirloom quality rifle. And so I went to the local gun store, and I was thinking about like a Winchester Model 70, like Deluxe or Supreme or whatever they call it, with the nice American walnut stock. And they actually had a couple of them. I wanted a 270 because I already have two 30-06s, and the 270s, like the timeless old man Western caliber. You know, they're loved by most people, and I've never had one, so I wanted to try that out. And I went there with the intention of getting the Winchester, and I ended up buying this CZ550. I had no intention of it. However, I shouldered them both, I checked them both out, and really the CZ just felt like a nicer rifle to me. It felt, it just fit my body better, if that makes any sense to you guys. Lots of people don't like the hogback stocks. I love it. I think it's probably one of the best looking rifles, you know, ever, really. This is a totally timeless, awesome gun. And so I bought it, much to the chagrin of my partner. I bought it. And I put a Zeiss Conquest 3-9x40 on it. And it came with the CZ steel rings, and then I bought a really nice leather sling for it as well, and I was pretty happy with it until I picked it up and realized it was 9.9 pounds scoped. Oh my goodness, without bullets in it. Holy Dinah, I hiked with it maybe once and I could really notice it. It was crazy. I don't know, like I'd always read online people complaining about the weight of their rifles, and I always thought it was crap until I actually had a pig of a rifle, and that was the one and only time I hunted with it, basically. And after that it just went in the closet and I was right back to the Finlight. So I was thinking again this year, I'm going to do all my hunting this next season with this rifle. I'm going to start putting some serious miles on it. I want to start getting some character dings in it. I want to, you know, use it for its intended purpose. It's too nice of a gun to not be used, to just be looked at, right? So I thought to myself, how could I make this a more practical gun for my purposes? Because almost all of my hunting is done, you know, hiking. If I quad into an area or drive a truck into an area, I'm usually hiking for most of the day after that. So what I did is I ordered some CZ aluminum rings, and I ditched the Zeiss Conquest, which is a 17-ounce scope, just over a pound. And I thought to myself, well, if I'm building an old man gun, something like your grandpa would have, what's the ultimate old man scope I can get and still keep the weight somewhat reasonable? And I'm a really big fan of Wayne Van Zwal, so I watch lots of his videos and I have a bunch of his books. And he's continuously making mention of fixed 4-powers. He always likes the fixed 4-power scope. And I've only ever had them on like cheap airgun scopes and 22 scopes. So I thought to myself, maybe I'll buy a decent quality fixed 4-power and give it a try on this gun, since it kind of goes with the theme of the whole setup anyway. So I did some reading and narrowed it down to a Leupold FX2 or the Weaver K4, and lots of guys seem to recommend the Weaver K4. It's like $100 cheaper than the Leupold, and it seemed like, you know what, old man scope for an old man gun, so I ordered up the Weaver K4, and I've got to say, this is actually a deadly scope. It's beautiful so far. Just looking at it through the windows at the house here and looking at trees and birds and stuff like that, it's really, really clear for what you pay. So I'm going to mount this in the aluminum rings and the new sling. So new scope, new rings, new sling, and I'm going to see how that affects the weight of my configuration here. Hopefully a lot less than 9.9 pounds. You just look at this thing. It is so ridiculously nice, the fit and finish on this rifle. Like, although possibly not as practical, well, okay, definitely not as practical as like a synthetic stainless gun, there's something else about it. You just look at this thing. The big heavy Mauser action, walnut stock, bluing. That pistol grip is unreal. That was one of the main selling points over the Winchester, that pistol grip on the hogbacks. Look, this is the 550 Lux. I think there's a few different levels of the CZ550. This is the Lux, and I think there's like an Ultra Lux where they put more gloss on it or something. But you know, actually, I thought about selling it because I wasn't using it. But every time I picked it up or looked at it, you could just, oh my goodness, it's so nice. The Winchester's the rifleman's rifle. I don't know what this is. The guy who likes to pack heavy rifles rifle, I guess. But I can tell you guys, if you've never seen one in real life, the 550s are no joke. They are a absolutely beautiful rifle. So I know I'm totally complaining about the weight of this thing in this video, and you know, I'm going into some effort to make it lighter. But one of the things I wanted on this is I wanted a gun that had absolutely no plastic on it. So I hate to say it, but when you buy a new CZ550, the follower for the internal box mag is actually plastic. So I ordered this up from CZ. It's actually a steel follower, a metal follower, just because I didn't want any plastic components on this thing at all. In addition to that, I also ordered up metal bottom metal, steel bottom metal, blued steel. They're actually plastic, again, from when you buy it from the store or from CZ. I'm not sure if they're adding those plastic components to make it lighter. I suspect that's why. But you can buy the replacement parts from CZ, so you can replace everything in metal, which is what I've done. I know, kind of ironic making a video bitching about the weight of the 550 when you've already gone ahead and replaced all the light parts with steel. If you guys aren't totally familiar with the gun, they've got a really cool safety setup. It's a 3-position side safety. So all the way back, it's a bolt lock, trigger lock, one forward. It's a trigger lock, but you can still manipulate the bolt to eject the round out of the chamber. Really good safety feature. And then of course all the way forward, red, it's go time. In addition to that, you've got a regular adjustable trigger on it. But this is the first gun I've ever had to have this feature. You push it forward, like so, and it's actually a set trigger, so it's like a target style trigger, and you just barely even breathe on the thing and it goes. So I think the regular, I have it adjusted right now, it's like 3.5 pounds regular pull, and then I don't know, the set trigger's like clicking a mouse basically. Always lock tight your rings. That's another thing I didn't mention about this. This thing's got iron sights still. I don't think there's much on the market that's got irons. That's another thing that was a factor over the Winchester. You can pack a little Allen head or Torx head with your bore snake, whatever you keep for your rifle maintenance stuff, in the kit, or in your kit when you're out hiking and hunting, and you know, you can fully pop the rings off this thing and use your irons if you had to. Hopefully you never have to do that, but if you ever had a scope failure, you could still finish your hunt up kicking it really old school with the irons. That's another thing to consider. Got the scope leveled up, it's looking good. Awesome eye relief on this scope too. I think this is going to be sweet, guys. I have a good feeling about this. A beautiful thing is coming together here. I can sense it. Always a good idea to use a torque wrench on all of your firearm components. Don't strip anything, it's too expensive to get it fixed. Alright, well, we went from 9.9 to 9.2. I don't know how much of a difference that's going to make. To be totally honest, I was expecting a little more of a weight loss than that. I was hoping to get in the 8s, but clearly not. Anyways, we'll see how it goes from here. I still intend on hunting with this thing. I guess I'm gonna have to just stop being so fat and lose a couple pounds off the backside. Alright, off to the range. Say hi, buddy. Hugo. Hugo. Say hi. Oh, off to the range. Super X, as good as it gets. Okay, let's try sighting it with some core locks. About 6 inches low, first shot. Okay, guys, so core locks were about 1.25 inch group. But what's interesting are the partition hand loads. This is actually 2 holes. That's the third. That's about a 0.7 group, I'd say. Second group, partition hand loads, 2 stacked again. And the third, that's probably again, oh man, the width of an index finger, so it's probably a 1/2 inch, 0.6 group, something like that. That's with that 4-power scope. So anyone who thinks you can't do group shooting with a low power scope, well, I guess you can, up to 100 yards anyway.